Hi, okay, we're doing the Modern Family Rewatch. We are on Season 1, Episode 18. The episode is titled Starry Night. It is 22 minutes long, and Gloria and Cameron bond during a night out. That's literally the only information that they give on this episode, which is genuinely insane when you consider that there are 3 storylines in this episode that I can think of off the top of my head, which is 1, Gloria and Cameron bond during a night out, but 2, Manny and Jay and Mitchell go out stargazing. And I'm almost positive there's a 3rd. Maybe. But anyways, we're gonna watch this episode, and then if I still have the energy after this, we're gonna watch the next episode, which is Phil's birthday episode. I actually have very mixed feelings about that episode. I am very much on Phil's side for that episode to an extent. So let's get started in 3, 2, this episode aired on March 24th, 2010. So now we know the time period, which is the 2010s, the start of a new decade. What happened? What happened? It doesn't really matter. I was trying to think of something witty and funny and cool, but honestly, I'm a little tired. It's been a long weekend. It's Memorial Day. But in the 2010s, it's 2 months after I had my first ever kiss. I was 14 going on 15. I was in the middle of still having my first boyfriend, but very close to dumping him. Facebook was a new popularity thing. Like, it was still in its early days of being out for the general public. So I think in 8th grade is when I tried to get my first Facebook. Yes, absolutely, because on the first day of freshman year, I had a Facebook and was trying really hard to make friends in the most awkward way possible by Facebook messaging people at 6 a.m. while I was getting ready for school. Very weird time to be alive. I was in my computer room because I got ready for school too quickly. The only time that ever happened in the life of my high school times. And I'm just gonna start watching the episode because I'm being really weird. Okay.
What's my favorite way to relax? Throw on the wireless headphones and disappear into the nature channel.
The young flatback turtle searches for food on the ocean floor. This flatback, however...
The fascinating thing about nature is how in the blink of an eye it can go from a scene of total tranquil beauty to raw primal violence.
Oh my god. So while Phil is just like chilling watching the nature channel with his like headphones on that are soundproof, Claire and Haley are getting into a huge fight. Claire's just ripped the headphones off of Phil because he's being useless once again. Alex is just in the background watching this entire thing happen, and Luke is there.
Can you seriously not hear me with those things on?
It's noise canceling technology. Give it a spin. It's
Sweetie, focus. Mom, why are you freaking out on every...
The fact that Claire has to beg Phil to focus. The fact that she has to beg him to focus. Also, Haley being like, why did you freak out on everyone? That's just 15-year-old girl.
We're acting very irresponsibly, all of you. Listen, honey, Luke has a giant project due tomorrow for school that he hasn't even started. And Haley...
Oh. It's that storyline. Okay.
They just informed me she needs 40 cupcakes for her school fundraiser, also due tomorrow.
I'd like to point out I completed all my assignments on my own and on time.
Oh my
know,
God,
Alex.
Okay, look, I will take...
Honestly, though, yeah, like, should they have praised Alex for having all her assignments completed and on time? Yes, obviously. But also, in a situation where they're trying to figure out how to help the other two, it's not a great time to praise them. But also, like, the situation, if it were reversed, would still be an issue. Where if they went, yeah, thank you, Alex, for getting it all done, or being like, oh, wow, see, Alex can get all of it done, it just also breeds resentment. There's not a great way to handle that issue, honestly.
Cupcakes, you did the project. It's on Vincent Van Gogh.
done.
Okay, I need you to really stay on him. Keep him focused.
Sure. I'm actually going to take a different approach, but...
Every single time that Phil decides he's going to take a different approach from how Claire tries to get him to take the approach, he's literally just doing it. I've made videos on TikTok about this over and over and over again. He's literally just doing it that way or saying that so that he can prove to Claire that she's wrong about the way to parent their kids. He's only parenting them in that moment in the first place because she's begging him to. And he wants to prove to her that she's wrong about how she parents. So when the kids inevitably in some way prove him wrong because he's way too lax on them, what does he do? He immediately goes the opposite way and is harsh and awful and doesn't listen to a thing that they say. So even if the kids, like in this in this episode, Luke is literally actually doing the project, and if Phil had talked to him for 30 seconds, Luke would be able to explain what he's doing and why he's doing the project this way. But instead, Phil just yells at him and is like, I can't believe that you would do this, and like uses Claire as like a basis for how Luke is wrong, and terrible. And of course, Luke ends up doing the project wrong anyways at the end, but he still did the whole project. It's just for some reason the 11-year-old thought aliens were a part of the whole thing, which, like, to be fair, I don't think that they were actually doing this, but there is a brilliant episode of Doctor Who, the Vincent van Gogh episode. I say Van Gogh the British way because of that episode, where like he has been like harassed and haunted by aliens, so maybe Luke saw that. I don't actually think that's what they were doing, but like, wouldn't it be cool if it were? Actually, I don't even know if those episodes came out at the same time. Now I have to Google this while we keep watching.
I'm actually gonna insist that you don't.
Claire, I know you got your methods, but so do I, and I'm sorry, but I'm not a micromanager.
Phil is a micromanager. Phil is absolutely a micromanager. He just wants to prove to Claire that he doesn't have to be a micromanager and that she's a bad parent because he sucks! My phone is about to die. My phone is about to die. Okay, 1 second. 1 second. Where's my phone charger? I just had it. There it is. Okay, so. What are we doing? We're looking up the Van Gogh episode so we can know if these even happened at the same time. And we are also getting mad and being mad at Phil for being, get this, the worst. I'm about to fart. You guys might hear me fart a lot this episode, and I am going to be embarrassed by it, and I just need you to know that I'm embarrassed by it. Okay. Doctor Who Van Gogh episode, Googling.
Yes, ma'am. I can provide Luke with the tools and guidance he needs without smothering him.
I have talked about this ad nauseum, but I'm gonna talk about it some more, because the thing is that Phil is not a good parent. He's not a good father. He doesn't actually parent the kids. He's a great dad in that he's fun to be around. They really like him when it's safe to be around him, when it's safe for them to like him, because if they do step 1 foot out of line and make him look bad, he does immediately get mad at them every single time without fail. But the thing about this is it's just that he wants to embarrass his wife and make her feel stupid. And that's the entire basis of his storyline in this episode. And, like, if he had actually wanted to be like, he could have proved Claire wrong and not said a thing. He could have been like, hey, just so you know, at the end of this episode, when Luke's gotten everything done, just so you know, like, I actually didn't ride Luke this entire time. I gave him space. I let him do this. I think we should take a look at this. It would really give a different opportunity. He could have just agreed with Claire and done his own thing. No, he's giving Claire a lecture on his own methods that he absolutely has. And it's like, how would you know about these methods? How would you even know that you have these methods? When have you ever parented your kids enough for that to come through? When have you ever parented your kids enough for that to come to fruition? Oh, right, never. Literally been 18 episodes and we haven't seen you actually be a parent once. But sure, bestie.
You think I smother our child?
It's not your fault, honey. Mother is part of the word. You never hear of anyone being fathered to death.
I forgot about the smothering part when I was talking about everything else, but genuinely it's just that he doesn't like his wife and wants her to be wrong because she's significantly better than him at most of the things that she sets her mind to.
I know what Luke's problem is. He's got ADHD.
No, I don't. What is it?
I'd tell you, but you'd wander off before I got to the H.
Just promise me that you will stay on him until this project is done.
Okay. So, oh, funnily enough, the Doctor Who Vincent van Gogh episode actually came out 2 months after this. 3 months after this. It came out on June 5th, 2010. So like 2.5-ish months after this episode. So they exist in the same timeline, but they do not exist before each other. So therefore Luke never would have watched it, and neither would any of the writers of the show. Would have been cool. What a funny coinkydink. But also, Alex being like, Luke is ADHD, is Alex actively just trying to shame Luke's existence? Sure, but is she wrong? No. And will Phil ever admit that part? No, because he has ADHD and he's therefore like, my child does not have the ADHD, he just likes to jump. That was a really, really bad Pedro Pascal impression. I apologize for how bad that was. It was terrible. And also in the next scene, in the next moment that's about to happen, they're gonna try and make Luke seem stupid for what he's doing, and I'm gonna immediately pause it and go, Luke is not stupid, so let me just explain that.
I will, but you might have a little more confidence in him.
What?
And also, I will say this, Phil being like, have more confidence in our kid. Yeah, absolutely. If it weren't for the fact that he had an entire project that he has to do, and he hasn't done it, and he has one night to do it. And now you're saying have more confidence in him? Claire is saying ride him on this because it has to get done tonight. Like, you're acting like Claire doesn't have any confidence in Luke when really the entire thing is that Luke didn't get the task done and it now has to get done, and she has 2 kids to worry about in this moment with Haley and the cupcakes and Luke and the project, and Claire is trying to designate someone else to the project, but she's being like, make sure this gets done because it has to get done tonight, and that's exhausting. Also, Luke is wearing the soundproof headphones and he's about to start talking as if no one can hear him because he doesn't understand the concept of noise cancellation or sound cancellation headphones, but that makes perfect sense because he's 11. It makes perfect sense because logically, if you hear that something is soundproof and you can't hear anyone around you, you're gonna kind of forget that other people can still hear you, you just can't hear them. So it makes sense. They're trying to act like he's stupid when really he's just 11, and 11-year-olds have terrible logic.
What? No one can hear me now. Ooh. Everybody is stupid except me. Ha ha ha.
Also something 11-year-olds think. Banger. Such a banger.
Is this the cutest thing I've ever seen? You out here on the curb with your little telescope waiting for your dad?
It's not cute, it's science. Tonight is the magnificent Lyrid meteor shower.
So the entire episode is really hard to watch, but I love the end result of it so much that it's worth the entire difficult watch. I love the whole storyline. I just had to pause to say that, and then we're gonna watch a bit more, and then I'll talk more about the analysis for it, okay?
The Planet Geek passes through the nerdy way. Oh, I think it's sweet. Every couple of years, Mitchell and his father, they go out and enjoy one of these showers together.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily put it that way. I mean, yes, me and my father enjoy it because we don't share a lot of the same interests. Like, I never went to sports games with him.
Probably because you call them sports games. Just lose the sports.
Just games. Oh.
Like, the episode does such a good job of setting up the fact that Mitchell really has no idea how to relate or connect to his father in any way that he'd be able to actually have a relationship with him, except for this one specific thing that is just his and just his dad's until...
Here comes your shower partner.
Stop it.
I thought I had better
Have fun
timing
with
than
your
this.
dad, okay?
All right, see you later.
Don't worry about me.
I'm not. I'm just saying for work.
Shotgun, sucker!
And then it turns out that Mitchell has to share his dad with the new kid, with Manny. And on top of it, Manny's being a complete little asshole to Mitchell the entire time, which is crazy, and we don't get an explanation until halfway through the episode. But I genuinely love this entire part because it really shows their relationship. It shows their similarities, it shows their differences, and it shows just how well Jay thinks of Mitchell, even if he's not always able to show it. And I think it's just so sweet. It's so sweet. They go for the cheap laugh every time that they can in this episode, but it's worth it, you know? I love it.
Make sure your seat is exactly the way you want it, and feel free to play with any of these controls up here. I have no idea what they do, but I want Mikar to be Sukar.
I also love, okay, I genuinely really like so much of this episode, okay? Like, because the thing is, Cam is so nervous to hang out with Gloria, and he's so nervous because he said this thing that sounds really racist, but he was actually talking about sports. But boy, is that bad timing when he's talking about Brown in Columbia, which we'll find out in a minute. And the entire time he's just trying so hard to prove to Gloria that he accepts her for who she is. And all the while, Gloria is being like kind of off-putting, and you can't figure out why, and like they figure each other out, and they figure out how to come together in this episode, and they really do have such a great relationship. But like in the show, they have such a great relationship, even though they really are kind of catty and toxic and should not be together for long periods of time. But when they're together for the short periods of time, it's so good for them. And I love that for them. I love that for them so much. Also, you're gonna ask me what I'm making. I don't know. I don't know. I found out recently that I have two very, very nice local yarn stores. And in those two very, very nice local yarn stores, I bought a bunch of yarn. With no actual plans on what to do with the yarn. Actually very similarly colored yarn on top of it. And I mostly just bought it to support small businesses and not for any actual reason of like knowing what I would knit, because I don't follow patterns or knit most things. I just kind of do this and hope for the best. So this might be a scarf, this might be a bunch of squares that I'll sew into something, this might be nothing. We'll see. I was considering initially a coffee cozy, but the yarn is a little bit thinner of a gauge than I would normally like go for with a coffee cozy. So I just don't know even the calculations for it that I would need to use to get it the right way. So yeah. I'm just knitting to knit.
Are you okay? You seem nervous.
I'm nervous? No, I'm not nervous. I was nervous. I mean, when Mitchell made plans with his father, I figured why not spend the evening with Gloria? I've always wanted to be good friends with her. On paper, we should be good friends. Look at us. One spicy, curvy diva.
And Gloria.
Cam was the bullying kind of mean to Mitchell first, and also when they're quippy together, it actually does work. Like when you can tell that they like each other. And in the first season, they actually like each other almost the entire way through.
The problem is I had a little minor setback that we had to overcome from a couple weeks ago. I cannot stand hanging out with his Ivy League friends.
Oh, they're the worst.
They're not that
They
bad.
are
They're
the
not
Are you
that
kidding me?
worst.
Debbie can't go 2 minutes without talking about Columbia University and the little guy with the lazy eye from Harvard.
Brown.
Whatever. Honestly, I wish that tart would go back to Columbia and take her weird little brown friend with her.
Cam, you need to relax. You explained.
Not very well. You know how awkward awkward I get when things get awkward. So when I said brown people, I wasn't talking about your brown people. I was talking about people who go to a university. Not your people.
The face Mitchell just made when he almost got pulled in because he was grabbing a drink next to Cam and Cam tried to bring him in. He was like...
Not that your people couldn't go to college. Okay, now I'm hearing myself saying your people a lot, so... just very excited because...
I'm just so happy. That's what I mean by they went for the cheap joke every time. That was a pretty... but it was worth it.
This is, this is our first night out together, so it's our little date.
Where are we going?
Make sure your seatbelt is securely fastened and your tray tables are in the upright position because I got us into Palaso.
Fancy.
I know, it's normally a 4-week wait, but the maitre d's an old Pilates brother of mine, so just one phone call.
Okay.
Palaso!
So this entire episode, Gloria is like really nervous and anxious and blah blah blah, and the entire time I genuinely just want to know, like we find out that she's this way specifically because she like spent way too much money on a dress, and then we see the dress because Mitchell wears it and it's really not that pretty of a dress. Like it's fine, but we never see Gloria wear it, which we could assume is because of the skunk smell and maybe it just could never come out, but B, it's just not that gorgeous of a dress, like especially when we see her in all these really stunning things all the time. But B, we also see her in these really stunning things all the time, so I want to know so desperately what she paid for this dress that would make her, for the entire episode, be like, I have to go back to my roots, I forgot where I came from, I'm still Jenny from the block. I gotta know.
Cameron, you know what? I don't know if I'm in the mood for something so fancy. Can we just go somewhere like more simple?
Yes, of course. We can... What did you have in mind?
I don't know. How about a little Latin place that I always used to go?
That sounds fantastic. I would love to see how your people eat. Your people? What is wrong with me?
Okay.
The issue is... it's so relatable when you... and it's like, bleh, bleh. Why? You get... Okay. Anyways.
It's egg cracking time. Now, I find the key to cracking an egg properly.
Mom, I'm not a child. I can do it.
Okay. Okay.
My mom's not.
I would like to remind everyone that Haley is an evil, evil genius. And she knows what she's doing, and she tells us that she knows what she's doing. But even on top of her knowing what she's doing, even on top of that, she's an evil genius. And the only reason that she did not succeed more fully in this plan is because she got too cocky. It's because she got just a little bit too cocky, and because she got a little bit too cocky, she failed. She failed her mission. Honestly.
You can't just ask her to do something for you. You have to very carefully put the cheese in the trap. Oh, oops, I got a little shell in the bowl.
And when that happens, I find that I like to not
it's
do
right
that.
here. Oh, that's really gross.
Okay, I'm gonna...
Honestly, like, the minute Haley did that, that's just... Okay, so what Haley did, you're watching with me, but you're not watching with me. She cracked an egg, a piece of the shell fell into the egg, and Haley just puts her finger in to grab the egg up. That's what you do! That's what you do! Claire's germophobia, which doesn't really come out very often because she raises Luke, comes out right there, and I'm like, what are you, Schmitz? Like, That's the thing that's gonna get you. Her hands are already gonna be washed because she's baking. That's what you have to do in that situation when you're baking. And then you just wash the egg off of you again. The number one thing that you do when you're baking is literally just wash egg off of your hands over and over and over again for the 10 minutes between, well, not the 10 minutes, but you know what I mean. For like the 3 cracks of eggs, every time that you crack the egg, a tiny bit of the egg potentially gets on you, and then you just go wish, 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 and then you dry them off, and then you keep going. It's just par for the course.
I'll do this. You just mop up.
And snap. Is it bad that I feel sorry for her? So how do I start?
What do you think?
I don't know. Mom usually tells me what to do.
Join the club. I'm kidding, I love your mom.
Asshole.
We are going to try a new approach this time. Now, your goal is to create a display about the life and art of Van Gogh, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Got your poster board right here. So, pretend you're telling the story of his life to someone who has never heard of him. What do you put on that board? I see the wheel spinning. The spark of
How did they
creativity.
get the lead and pencils?
Okay.
Here's the thing. Phil's way of doing this is fantastic in this moment. That's a crazy thing for me to say. And yes, I am. I am on a dating app at this moment because I'm bored. I'm not bored. I'm not bored of this. This is phenomenal. But I'm bored of this. And also I'm bored not really of being single, but of like not dating. So apps. I'm always on the apps. Anyways, Phil's way of doing this is actually genuinely good. And I know it's good because this is the way my parents would do it with me, where they're walking me through every step of the thing, but they're asking my opinion, they're asking me to participate, we're figuring it out together, we're doing the research together, and that's genuinely what these projects are. Now, did my parents do that with me when I was like 9 and not when I was 11? Yeah. But can I remember most of what I did when I was I did an entire, yeah. I did an entire project on Ulysses S. Grant where I made a game where I just filled a bag with sand, and I made sure it was flat because I was learning how to sew at the time, so that was like the extent of thought behind it. And I put true on one side or false for the other or something for that, and I made a bunch of questions for Ulysses S. Grant and was like, well, this one's true, this one's false, things like, I can't remember how that game worked, but I stand by it. But I did do an entire research project on Ulysses S. Grant, and you're gonna go, why Ulysses S. Grant, Jack? And it's because I am a very distant descendant of him on my father's side, because one of my family members was a mistress of one of Ulysses S. Grant's family members. That's all I got. That's all I really know. But it's important to me. But that being said, did my parents like help me? Because I was like, I'm trying to research this, and it's like I'm supposed to like, I don't even think I was supposed to Google stuff. I was like, can we go to the library to get me books on this or something? And we had an entire set of encyclopedias. We had an entire set of encyclopedias, and I wish I still had them. I wish I still had them, because like all of the knowledge would be completely outdated, but they were such pretty books. And I pulled up a bunch of my Ulysses S. Grant stuff because I had to have a bunch of different sources for my Ulysses stuff, and then we went to the library, and like my father walked me through it, my mom walked me through it, and we helped to figure out like what the research on him was and why it was important to know these facts about him and create the project and make the poster board. And these are the things that you do with your kid at that age so that they can know how to do the research, how to focus, how to come up with the project ideas. Like Claire just going, well, you'll do a project on this. and like doing the entire project with him and for him, not nearly as helpful as what Phil is doing. But Phil also steps way too far back when Luke gets in the zone, because Luke does have ADHD, whether or not Phil wants to admit it, as we're supposed to see from this moment where Phil's trying to get Luke to answer a question, and Luke is just going, how do they get the lead in pencils? Which is a genuinely good question. I think they're about to Google how they got it in the pencils.
Let's try to stay on topic.
Hey, Jay, look who thinks Mercury is the densest planet in the solar system.
I take it from your mocking tone that I am incorrect.
So, my best friend, who I have been best friends with for the entirety of our lives, because her mom got pregnant in March of the same year that I was born. So we're 5 months apart. 7 months apart, because she was born in March of 96 and I was born in July of 95. I was doing the math backwards. We have been best friends for our entire lives. I would have like sleepovers at her house so often. I spent most of my life at her house or spending time with her, and she has a younger sister. She has two younger sisters. There's the middle younger sister, who I no, but we never got the chance to be close, because by the time that she just didn't want to spend that much time with us, so I don't know that much about her because she had her own friends. But then she has the youngest sister, who is 9 or 10 years younger than me. And A, that child is basically just my little sister. But B, and more importantly, I spent time with her last weekend, and every time I spend time with her, all she does is mock me. All she does is mock me. I'm literally like, stop mocking me, you little demon. And she's like, no. And I can't even blame her, because she is the only little sister I have. And I mock all of my older sister's friends, who I've known for as long as I've known, this child, right? But, she mocks me so hard. She mocks me like Manny is mocking Mitchell. And it's very realistic writing in this episode, let me tell ya.
Densest planet is Earth.
Which makes you the densest guy on the densest planet. Zing!
Manny trying to have a catchphrase in this episode, zing! Because Jay was like, we used to zing on my brother and I, my brother and I used to zing each other. Just realistic.
Fun.
You sure Mitchell won't mind me tagging along?
Are you kidding? He loves you. What are you worried about?
I've never had a brother before. We never really hung out that much.
Kiddo, you are overthinking this.
I just don't want to say the wrong thing.
You can't. That's the beauty of having a brother. Me and my brother were zinging each other all the time. What's going on, fat boy? Nothing much, jackass. Things of that nature. It's how brothers express love.
It's how brothers express love. Yes, but you have to gain that closeness. You can't just start that out immediately. You have to gain it. You have to work together for it to work. It takes time. Which Jay does not think about, because Jay was born with the brother, and Manny married into the brother. And there's nothing wrong with either version, But it takes time. It takes patience. You're not going to start if you are a 3-year-old and a baby, you don't start singing the baby right away. You take some time with singing the baby. At first you love the baby and are nice to the baby, and then you're like, I hate that baby is stupid. And then you never go back, and you ask if you can bring the baby back to the baby store. Also, excuse me. But I think it's so lovely that Jay's trying to be like, no, he loves you. He loves you. You have an older brother. You have an older brother who, loves you and wants to spend time with you, and, you can't possibly annoy him, because he's just trying to help in that moment. He's just doing it in a kind of roundabout way that is going to mess up the relationship for a hot second before it gets better. Okay, this is Brady. He is 31. He's a moderate. He's 6'3". He has multiple photos of himself and doesn't answer a single question on the prompt and doesn't have a bio. And on top of that, there is one photo where he is, of course, flipping off the camera, and so that's a no to Brady. This is Miles. He's 25. He's a client service associate at banking. Seeking someone who loves to, like, he wrote his ethnicity, but I'm not going to say that out loud because I don't want to give too much information on him. Oh, he's a conservative. Never mind. You're not my type, so sorry. No. Didn't I go to high school with that guy? Isn't he married to the girl that I went to... Yep, there's his kid with the girl that I went to high school with. So, no. I give up on dating again. I really do. I think it's a con. I think it's a con created by big media to try and force people into... I don't know, I'm bored.
Shotgun, sucker!
All Jay would have to do is explain to Mitchell what's going on, but he waits until like the dead of the night, so Mitchell's just having the worst time on this thing that he was so excited for and to do with his dad.
I'm gonna see the sights.
Not if they see you first.
Kinda miss with that one, kid. All right, this is all you need to know right here. Apparently the pencil's in 2 pieces and they glue them together on the lead.
What if we put all the stuff about his life on this side and all the stuff about his paintings on this side?
Luke, buddy, that's fantastic. And the best part is you came up with that by yourself. All it took was a little bit of focus. And this thing is really loose. I'm gonna go grab a screwdriver, but you run with this. On your mark, get set, then you.
All because of a squeaky chair, or a chair that's a little rattly. And I can't even get too mad at Phil because honestly that's the most relatable thing that he's ever done. Which makes it worse for me in my soul. My soul hurts having to admit that.
Dad, he kind of looks like Uncle Mitchell. If Uncle Mitchell were insane.
Mitchell does look a crazy amount like Van Gogh, I will say. But also, Van Gogh is not insane. He was depressed.
By a skunk! Oh, you stink!
And I just said astronomy, Plemo!
What is happening?
Also, that entire storyline reminds me so much of one of my favorite episodes of Barbie, Barbie Life in the Dream House, or Barbie Go Team Roberts? Barbie Go Team Roberts. Okay, Barbie Go Team Roberts, where Barbie and her dad have this special thing that they do together where they go see like a meteor shower, and while going to see a meteor shower they get this really specific kind of egg salad pizza which like everyone else thinks is gross, and it's just a them thing that they do together. And then 2 of her other sisters, Stacy and brunette with purple hair, Skipper, Stacy and Skipper each also have like special things that they do with their dad. And the only one who doesn't have a special thing that she does with her dad is Chelsea. So Barbie is like, Chelsea, I will let you, like, you can have this thing that I do with dad. And her dad is like, are you sure? And Barbie's like, yeah, I'm too old for that now. And the entire episode, she just kind of goes accidentally spying on them while they're doing this thing together because she is jealous. Like, she is jealous and she doesn't want to be jealous, but she is. So she finally admits to her dad that this is something that she wants to do with him still. But Chelsea, like, can tag along, and then Chelsea and her dad, like, also come up with something different that's just the them thing. But it's just, such a lovely episode. I love Barbie Go Team Roberts. But also, it's just, like, you're never too old to want to spend time with your parents. I no longer have a relationship with my dad, so I get, like, kind of teary-eyed at these episodes. I'm not crying. That was a weird, like, you know when you talk about your eyes being teary and then you go like this even if they're not? Just me. Possibly just me. I no longer have a relationship with my dad, but, like, I'm so jealous of people on TV who do have relationships with their dads, so I really like watching shows with, like, good dad moments because of that, and this is, like, a really good one. And the Barbie one is better because it's Barbie. I'm not a huge fan of the 2023 Barbie movie. Just wanted to say that out loud. Okay, I'm gonna press play now.
I love this place.
I was a little bit worried because it's not exactly.
I love this place. I was nervous. I mean, there was a lot of different food on the menu and on the floor.
So, I'm talking with my friends about how the Taylor Swift conspiracy theorists are starting to sound reasonable. And my friend Elisa, hi Blondie, I'm sure that you're probably watching this at some point, so hi, sent a tweet. The only way Rep TV is getting announced is if I fall asleep. I have been asleep for each TV announcement, and it can't be a forced sleep either. And Elisa says, me, it's not real unless it's a text from Hannah that I woke up to. Hannah is also in this group chat. So the goal is that Hannah will tell us. Okay, so the goal is that Hannah must find out and tell the blonde while she is asleep. Go to sleep, Elisa! Hannah, keep an eye on the Taylor. I just want Taylor Swift reputation. I don't listen to the conspiracy theorists. I really don't. Because I'm just like, you're always wrong. You're never right. I don't believe you. But this time they're pretty convincing. So.
And on the wall.
Are we sure we're not exaggerating just a little bit?
Were you there?
Also, Cam is being so judgy about this place, but also I can't fully judge because you know when you go to a really like dingy bar that you weren't planning on going to because you wanted to go somewhere else, and then someone's like, oh, let's go to this dingy bar because I'm starving, and then you have to go to a dingy bar, and the entire time you're just like, these tables are sticky. They're sticky, you know? You feel me? You get it? Just me. And also, I like to make it clear, I have gone to my fair share of dingy bars in my lifetime. Like, so many. I was unfortunately a bar kid growing up, which is not great, which is also why I don't always like going to dingy bars. But B, sometimes they do have really good food. I will give them that. The one I used to go to with my dad before I stopped talking to him had really good cheese quesadillas. But we would get them every Friday night because that's the only thing he ever wanted to do. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking about my dad now. Sorry. I don't know if that was a burp or a hiccup, but it kind of hurt. And it really shocked me. But anyways, trauma dumping over. What? I'm not gonna delete any of this because I'm lazy. Honestly, it's not even that, like, I don't want you guys to know, or that I'm like, I think that you guys should know, so I'm not gonna delete this. No, it's literally just that I'm lazy. I upload this onto my computer, and then I cut the first part and the second part, and then I just post it to YouTube and do the rest in my phone. Like, I try to make this the easiest process for myself possible because it takes so much effort to film these, because we're 42 minutes or 43 minutes in to watching an episode of Modern Family, and we're only 8 minutes and 48 seconds into the actual episode of Modern Family because there's a lot of talking that has to be done. And I love the talking, and I love the analyzing, and I love the looking at all of this like together, even though yes, I know that I really am. I keep going on dating apps. It's accidentally becoming kind of an addiction. I need to stop. But like, it takes a lot of time, and because it takes a lot of time, it also like makes my brain go, oh, but I don't want to do it because it's going to take so much time. Like, you know, you get me, you feel me? So anyways, next part, Cam and Gloria are at the bar. And Cam's about to be really, really stupid and order the spiciest thing he possibly can, which is, I cannot iterate this enough, so stupid. So stupid.
Mitchell, because I think I would have recognized the only other white or gay person. I'd already offended Gloria once. Not gonna do it again.
Hola, ¿cómo está? Gloria! ¿Cómo estás? Ya tiene mucho que no vienes, ¿eh?
Mi amigo Cameron.
Welcome. So, Carnitas Diablos.
Yeah, you remember.
Claro.
Doesn't Diablos mean fire?
I'll just have the same thing.
No. You should have the chicken enchiladas.
No, I'll have the carnitas diablos.
These are not for you.
Excuse me?
They're too spicy. Miss Gloria's used to it.
Yeah, he's right.
I can spice you under the table any day. That
Diablos means devil. Super duper, super spicy. Okay.
sweet thing. Dos carnitas diablos, por favor.
Okay.
Okay?
Mitchell. Of course, what was I thinking? Dad, can we just go home, please?
You've got to air out first before I let you in that car. I'll never get the stink out.
Hey, Jay, is that Venus? Because I can smell the clouds of pure sulfuric acid from here. Slam!
Okay. I'd really like to go home now.
We'll miss a meteor shower.
The trouble is your clothes. Just take them off. I think there's a blanket in the trunk.
You sure, Dad? You're not worried I might stink up the blanket?
Don't worry about it. We just used it to cover up the seat for when Manny's all sweaty after his tango class.
If you don't sweat, you're not doing it right.
This moment is like the worst in the whole show from the perspective of Mitchell. Because Jay is being like, oh, we just like cover this for Manny. And like Manny then says like this thing that's like, so it feels like a Will Ferrell movie scene where like a flashback scene in a Will Ferrell movie that would be about a son gaining a relationship with his divorced dad. And first we have this flashback to the last time that he saw his father. And it's his father hanging out with his new stepson. And the father's like, oh, we just do this for this little stepson who's significantly better than you in every single way. And the stepson says, I'm a little dick and you're the worst. Ha 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 ha. Like something like that, you know? I hope you die. Ha 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 ha. And like points at him and is like, I'm just better than you in every single way possible. And then the dad like puts a hand on the stepson. Like, this is my son now. Not you. This kid. It feels like a scene from a Will Ferrell movie. It really does. And on top of that, the entire reason that Jay is being so nice to Manny is literally just that Manny's getting bullied at school. And because of Jay's lack of communication skills, Mitchell has no idea. And because Manny doesn't want to admit it, he's just being an asshole to Mitchell because he thinks that's the way to have a brother. Oh, the boys. The boys need help. But like, Mitchell's feelings are so genuinely hurt because he's getting bullied on this trip where he was really finally expecting to not get bullied by his dad because it's his special time with his dad. And like, he's so close to tears, and you can tell that he's so close to tears, and it's such a terrible trip because he got sprayed by a skunk. He got sprayed by a fucking skunk, and he's getting bullied by his by his little stepbrother. And Jay has finally realized, and he has the face of person who has finally realized that he fucked up. But still.
He was one of the best boyfriends I ever had.
But he was gay.
Yeah, I figured that out after the first month, and I stayed for a whole year because the haircuts were fantastic. Funny, huh? Cameron, come on, it's not that funny. You okay?
I'm fine.
Are you sure?
I love this place.
You know, when Ted Lasso decides to eat all of that spicy food so that he doesn't offend his taxi driver who played Jeffrey in the new Fresh Prince reboot show, where Jeffrey was like a really big badass person for some reason. Not the point though. So Ted Lasso eats all of that really, really spicy food and then has to stop and use the public bathroom because he has such bad diarrhea. Because Cam doesn't get diarrhea in this episode that we know of, and I think that's unrealistic.
But your head is...
But also, he is sweating like somebody from an episode of a 2005 Disney TV show who's eaten spicy food or is getting interrogated by the police. Or both.
Water.
Oh, I don't think it is.
I told you it was too spicy for you. Look at your shirt.
No, I just need to get a little bit of a drink
No.
of something.
Cameron, the water makes this so worse. No!
Oh, you're right.
Let's make it worse. Oh.
Why does water make it worse? I don't understand.
I feel like I ate the sun.
I feel like I ate the sun.
And that is the secret to no lumps. See?
See, Haley texting at that exact moment is when... Oh, wait. No, it wasn't even Haley's fault that this entire thing got thrown away. It's because Phil proved Claire right. Or proved Claire wrong. Because in spite of all of Phil's misbehavior the entire episode, they make Phil the hero anyways.
Kind of fun.
You make it fun, Mom.
Listen to these symptoms of ADHD and tell me it's not Luke.
Alex.
Easily distracted by irrelevant stimuli.
I love how we just get the full flash over to Phil as he does these tasks the entire time. It's perfect.
Often impulsively abandons one task for another.
And Claire, meanwhile, knows that it's actually about her husband.
That's where I left those.
A tendency to act without regard to consequences, often at the expense of personal safety.
None of these describe me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Having accidents
Okay, you
more
know what? I
often...
think that's enough, Alex. We've got it.
Yeah. Remember the sunglasses I couldn't find? Bingo.
I asked you to do one thing, stay on top of Luke.
For your information, your son is hard at work on an awesome Van Gogh. Fix that masterpiece. Wait till you see.
Him tripping on the step at that exact moment where he has already not done the thing that Claire has asked him to do, and he always says that he's going to fix the step, but he never does, and they're showing all of the ADHD things that lead him to not doing the things that he's supposed to do, and then starting the tasks and not finishing the tasks, and meanwhile he's just not watching Luke while Luke is doing the project that is literally due tomorrow that has to be done on that specific day. And all the while going, no, look, I'm proving you wrong because Luke can do it, and then finding out that Luke in fact cannot do it, even though Luke was doing it, and if Phil had really actually believed in Luke, he would have been like, no, I'm sure that he has a reason for this, but instead of actually thinking that Luke might have a reason for why he's playing with the Mr. Potato Head, which is very logical when you consider the fact that Van Gogh is most famous, unfortunately, for cutting off his own ear, but actually Phil doesn't have trust in Luke at all. He just wants to prove Claire wrong continuously. So when he feels that Claire has been proven right, because he knows that Claire is right usually, he gets mad at Luke instead. Yeah. Doing the step in that exact moment really was perfect.
You're gonna be so surprised.
Oh, God, honey, I want nothing more than to be surprised, really. I'm not surprised. Okay, that's it. I don't want to hear anything about your new method of doing things. There's one thing that works with these kids, and that is staying on top of them, which, thanks to you, my friend, I will now be able to do all night long.
And then the step that he never fixes almost kills his wife.
Not happy, dude. You're supposed to be working.
I am working.
Mr. Potato Head? Really?
Because Mr. Potato Head has ears.
I'm going down to clean up the garage, then I'm coming back, and I'm going to stand over you until this thing is done. Okay?
Because you don't actually have faith in your kid. You just wanted to prove your wife wrong. I could say it over and over and over again.
Breathe.
Breathing only makes the fire
Okay,
spread.
then drink this milk. Hi, why did you have to water that spicy dish?
Because I'm a big idiot. And I wanted to have this awesome night between the two of us where we end up best friends, having lunch, buying shoes.
Okay, let's go have lunch. Let's go buy shoes.
Really?
Yeah, why are you so surprised?
I don't know.
See, this is the kind of miscommunication trope I actually really like. I need candy. I need candy to survive. This is why I don't buy candy, because candy is an addiction. For me, specifically. I can avoid so many things, but if I need a sour thing, I will eat the entire sour thing.
I guess I just always feel like I blow it with you, Gloria. Was it a Colombian comment or picking the wrong restaurant?
The restaurant had nothing to do with you. I was just not in the mood to go anywhere that fancy after the stupid thing I did this morning.
What did you do?
I bought a dress.
You monster.
It was a very expensive dress that I don't need. It was so stupid that when I got home, I couldn't even bring it inside the house. I left it in the car.
I totally get it. I have a legendary hat story. I'll bet you look fabulous in that dress.
Yes, but anyone would look fabulous in that dress.
Cut to Mitchell wearing the dress.
No.
It's just... It's not in any way something that I can ever see Gloria wearing. It's not particularly form-fitting. I'm eating candy, so of course I can't talk during this. 1 second. It's not particularly form-fitting. It's not particularly short. It's not particularly low-cut. It's just kind of there. There are just so many other dresses where I'm like, I could, like, it's just... How much was that dress that Gloria was so upset about it?
All I could find. Shut up.
Really shows off your shape.
Spin around, cupcake. Let's see the caboose.
You get fries with that shape? Is that too far?
There's a line, Jay.
There's a line, Jay.
I better go mop this up.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry if things got a little out of hand back there, but in our defense, look at you. I mean, smell you.
This is a fantastic apology.
Oh, don't be too hard on the kid. I was egging him on. He's gonna be mad at me.
Done.
I was just happy to see him laugh a little bit. You know, he's had kind of a tough week.
I got sprayed by a skunk and I'm wearing a dress that makes my hips look huge.
I know he doesn't want me to talk about it. He didn't get invited to this big party. Some kids he thought were his friends think he's weird. Now, you know me on this. I'm no good at it. You know, I never know what to say.
That's true.
But maybe I raised a kid who wouldn't know what to say. That's the only reason I invited him along, you know, because this astronomy stuff, that's our thing.
Yeah, no, I'll talk to him.
You don't look that ridiculous, man. You actually got the legs for it.
Dad.
No, I'm just saying if you were that type of a gay,
Dad!
you'd probably do all right for yourself.
Come on.
He was trying. He was trying in a very boomer way, but he was trying, and it just... I really like that moment between them, and the fact that he acknowledges this is our thing. I wish we could have seen them do it more. Because, like, it's really sweet, and I really like it.
You know, I always had a sense it was dangerous down here, but I guess it's actually kind of charming, isn't it?
It's not safe at all. I used to live down here, you know.
What?
Yeah, that's why I come down here. Look there. That was my old apartment. After I left Javier, that's all I could afford. Still part of me. You have to remember those things. Like you when you go to your farm.
You remember that? I told you that a year ago.
Of course I do. You're my friend, you big idiot. You know, this part of town might be very rough. The people here, Cameron, best.
And Cameron's car is on cement blocks.
Sure, I heard wheels when I parked here.
Yeah. Who did this?
No, it's okay, Gloria.
Who did this? You power son of bitches!
It's okay, everybody. I'm insured.
What? You scared? You scared to show your face at the other?
No, it's all right, everybody.
Get out, wait in the car.
Gloria, I think it's drivable.
Cameron, wait in the car. No, Gloria, I think it's drivable. 10 out of 10 perfection.
Gloria.
Just so you know, I'm going back up to Luke's room, and I'm not leaving until it's finished.
Thank you.
And I'm really sorry for not underestimating Luke enough.
Well, that means a lot to me.
The hardest part is he kind of takes after me with all this. Like my lack of focus and yours.
My what?
I just love you.
I did it.
Hey.
Oh my god.
Do you like it?
I love it. Did you do this?
All him.
I used Mr. Potato Head ears because Van Gogh cut his ear off, and there's money because his paintings sell for like $1 bajillion, which is sad because he died broke.
Yes. That... You were right.
Apologize.
I'm not apologizing.
Apology accepted.
Luke, I really couldn't be more proud of you, and I am so sorry I didn't give you more credit.
Thanks.
There you go, buddy.
To go finish the cupcakes. She did it. Sweetie, can you hand me those?
Yeah, I can talk. What are you doing?
Well, I showed you how to make them, and now you can do it yourself. Come on, guys, let's go.
The thing about this episode is very specifically that it makes it seem like you can only be two kinds of parents. The parents who absolutely helicopter and watch over their kids overly much and like don't give them a single piece of free space, and that's the only way that the kids know how to do it. Or a parent who steps back way too much and doesn't pay attention to the kids and has to hope for the best that the kid will do the thing. And there is a middle ground. The movie Bad Moms does this too. Like, there's no middle ground for how Mila Kunis really, like, watches her kids or, like, helps her kids with their projects. Excuse me. But the thing is, like, projects are something where the parent has to do a part of it with the kids. Because the parent has to learn with the kids. The parent can know what the kid is learning, understand how the kid has to learn, and, like, be there with their child. Like, they can't do the entire thing with the kid, but they do have to do a part of it. They have to talk about it. They have to figure out, like, why the kid is learning this thing and help the kid to figure out why they're learning this thing. And Claire's entire thing with not letting Haley do any of the cupcakes, Haley's like, oh, well, the thing with my mom is I have to just trick her into doing it the entire way. And the reason that works is because Claire has to control everything to an excessive amount. I'm bringing this back to Phil now that I think about it. And the reason that she has to control everything to an excessive amount is because of the childhood that she grew up with, where her parents were constantly fighting. There were only things that she could control, like, in her own circle. And B, she's married to a man-child who won't do any of the work for anything ever, so she has to do everything. But I do think it's unfair that Claire in this moment, like, isn't, like, I'm saying like a lot. That's like the frustrating part, is that Claire's parenting style, I think, if this were slightly more realistic, would be kind of the way that Phil's doing it, where she's like watching the kids and helping them to make decisions and like having them help her with this and like doing the things together. Because it is about doing the things together. But the show makes it so black and white, and the other issue is they always try and make Phil correct when Phil isn't correct, because the way that he did it still isn't right. Yeah, he had Luke talk it out. He had Luke do it himself, all that jazz. But as we see at the end, as we are about to see at the very end of this episode, what happens? Luke starts talking about aliens and how the end of the world is coming. because you need to be able to discuss the entire thing with your parents to a certain extent. Obviously not when you're in high school, but like when you're 11, when you're younger than that, there's a amount of work that gets done with your parents just to have a relationship with your parents and have your parents have a relationship with your children.
Well, good, because I really wanted to. Okay.
Also, it is physically impossible for anyone to be as bad at baking as Haley is, and I hate that she does the entire thing and she like is so proud of herself for having done the entire thing, and then the joke is that they're actually poison. Why couldn't Haley just be good at it? Like, or why couldn't they just have like tasted bad? Why did they have to be so poisonous that they called poison control, you know?
Set the oven to 700. I'm putting the eggs in the bowl. Oh, I got some shells in them. Uh-oh. Are you serious?
Hey. So I know you never, never believe this by looking at me right now, but I used to get picked on at school too.
So Jay told you?
Yeah, they'd call me weird. I was weird. Fun weird. But this is the funny thing about growing up. For years and years, everybody's desperately afraid to be different, you know, in any way. And then suddenly, almost overnight, everybody wants to be different. And that is where we win.
Yep.
Sort of counting on that. I'm sorry I was picking on you too much. Jay said that's what brothers do.
Well, we don't have to listen to him. Brothers do that too.
Okay, ladies, finish up your tea party. You're missing the show.
Can't believe I was fighting over this guy, huh?
Check it out. Check it out.
Wow.
Awesome. Why did he paint Starry Night? Maybe because the sky is beautiful and everybody likes looking at it. And it reminds us that something's up there watching over all of us. Aliens could be here in a second to liquefy us and use us as fuel. So wake up, people. We're next.
Mom, you better get down here.
And also, that's something that Claire would have found out if she had Luke practice the project in front of her, which is another thing parents are supposed to do.
Oh my god.
Wow. Delicious. I'm so proud.
Here's the thing, they're both holding half a cupcake, which goes to say that they both ate half of that cupcake.
Thanks, Mom. I'm just gonna wrap these
No,
up.
no, you know what, sweetie? You're gonna be late for school. Just go. I'll bring them by later.
Are you sure?
Yeah, get out here, Betty Crocker.
Okay.
So proud of you. Do we still have the number for poison control?
I love you, Claire. I always loved you.
My mouth is asleep like at the dentist.
Get over here, buddy.
Physically impossible to be that bad at baking. Okay. I was gonna watch another episode tonight, but it's 10:40 at night. I'm going to upload this episode, set it for morning, take a shower, go to bed, work tomorrow. 3-day weekends go by so quickly. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Season 1, Episode 18 of Modern Family. It's Starry Night. I really love this episode. I do. Even the parts that I hate, I love. Okay, bye! This doesn't turn off my camera. Yeah, I think going to bed after a shower is a good call. Because, wow, can't believe my brain did that. Okay, bye.